Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Very interesting details are emerging on the conduct of some Supreme Court judges. Details are now suggesting that some Supreme Court judges might have made their ruling on the presidential petition by Raila Odinga when they were drunk. They might have made the ruling when they were drunk. They were not sober. In this video, I want us to have a look at the new details, for they are going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion right now. Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi Senior Counsel. On the matter of drunk judges, 30 days ago, 2 judges of a top court, one drank till he blacked out at 5 a.m. Patrons were in a fix. We can hire a taxi, but who knows his house? The other drank himself silly at a joint and fell into a ditch. Getting him out required skill and patience. Senior counsel is talking of about 30 days ago. That was in the month of September. And we all know that in the month of September, the Supreme Court was very busy on the presidential petition. So it seemed that as they were busy, some were also drunk among them. And senior counsel is saying that by 5 a.m., 2 top judges were drunk to a point, one blacked out and one actually fell into a ditch. That was 5 a.m. in the morning. And I'm assuming that these judges are to report to work at around 8. So it's clear if they reported for work, then obviously they were not sober. They were still drunk. This tweet by senior counsel has been drawing a lot of mixed political reaction. Philip Etale responded to that tweet. He had this to say: the Grand Mullah has been tweeting about drunk and disorderliness in the judiciary. He says judges, especially those of the topmost court in the land, have resorted to drinking alcohol from morning to morning. My question is, if this is their behavior, what time did they sit down to write the judgment of the Supreme Court ruling on presidential election that contained political rather than judicial connotations? Or are they now feeling the effects of the tears many shed after their ruling of hot air, wild goose, etc.? Anyway, it is what it is. Then he attaches that tweet by senior counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi. Yes, things are getting more lively and more interesting. In this video, I want us to dig deep into the story to see what is happening behind the scenes. Before we do that, I want us to have a look at a short clip of one of the Supreme Court judges appearing to be drunk in public. Have a look at this.
Because I'm going to eat now. Kurekodia. Columbia, yeah, wadogo, wakubwa. Wale George aliitwa Kasingwa. Hey, Oh, the window here, and I want to check it. What's wrong with this people? Somebody needs some such a thing. Wana mko wako. Wana mko wako. Mama ndio bana wakitangi kitu cha kufua.
Yes, I know it's not illegal to drink, but I don't know whether the conduct of these judges allows them to be drunk and disorderly in public. To appoint a judge is falling into a ditch, and it's almost obvious that for somebody to fall in a ditch, then that kind of a person might be a nuisance to the public. I don't know whether the code of conduct of these judges allows them to be that disorderly. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the kind of a ruling that came from the Supreme Court, it's clear that that ruling was not based on law and evidence. That comes out very clearly. It's clear the ruling was not based on law and evidence. And I'm saying that because just some few days after that ruling, Chief Justice herself was speaking in Meru, and she made it very clear that some supernatural powers intervened and enabled them come up with the ruling they gave out. And that was interpreted, and it might be that their ruling was based on some powers, not on evidence and on law. Yes, not on evidence and on law. And if you look at it again, and this is something I keep on repeating, a 7-judge bench, I find it very hard for all these 7 judges to come with a unanimous decision in an area where the body that conducted an election, a good majority of the commissioners are disputing that election. I find it not just making sense for the Supreme Court, the 7 justices, to come with a unanimous decision in that kind of a situation. That's technically not possible. So it's clear that the conduct of some Supreme Court judges are actually in question. And even besides the drunkenness, the integrity of also some of those judges are also questionable, because it's also believed that money might have also exchanged hands. These are things that Kenyans have been talking about, yes, and they're in the public domain. It's believed that way. And then some weeks after giving that verdict, there was Lenaola also had a confrontation with Busia Senator Omtata, and he accused Omtata, or rather he profiled Omtata, telling Omtata he was not an Emormor. Emormor is a Teso king, and that was also seen as if the judge, the Supreme Court Judge Lenaola, was ethnically profiling Busia Senator. Those are the things, ladies and gentlemen, that have made quite a good majority of Kenyans to lack faith in the Supreme Court. And this is why here we have been maintaining that the best thing Martha Koome and her bench should do is to resign, because their continued stay in office is denting the image of the topmost court in the land. It's denting the image of the Supreme Court. And the truth be said, after the swearing of William Ruto, we have seen the judiciary as a whole appearing to be leaning towards the government. The judiciary is appearing to be already compromised. We are seeing cases, corruption cases, being dropped against some politicians seen as close to William Ruto. And we are also seeing some cases that had been concluded being revived. Cases against people seen not to be friendly to William Ruto. So already it seems that the judiciary is compromised. The apex court, the Chief Justice herself, is not giving confidence, or rather is not setting a good example to the lower courts. The topmost court is not setting a good example to the lower courts. And if this issue of drunkenness is also added there, then we are seeing clearly that there is a very big problem at the apex court, a big problem in the Supreme Court. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. But even before I stop, the verdict that was given by the Supreme Court, it was a verdict that was not given based on law. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at it diligently, it was not based on law. And now as new details emerge, you are seeing that maybe even some of the judges were drunk. And that's why even the wordings of their ruling was all that abusive. Somebody who wrote that ruling most likely was not sober. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. And to any other person who want to support us here, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number, or feel free to channel any contribution or any form of support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.